And good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Bruce, how are you this morning?
I am well. Just found it interesting last night that the Seattle Seahawks told the Denver Broncos to hold their beer while they mopped things up in the fourth quarter in a remarkable comeback that included 3 two-point conversions in the fourth quarter and overtime.
Right.
Think about the odds of completing 3 straight two-point conversions and needing every one of them to win by the skin of your teeth. It was a fantastic football game. Fantastic.
The Broncos did that twice earlier this season, didn't they?
No, they did. They did.
And now they get topped by the Seahawks. Can you believe it?
I hear you, man. I hear you. It was great.
Before we dive into that, we have talked so many times about how you can always find a way to come up with stats to make a guy look impressive. Yeah. We have seen that with Jokic. You know, the first player to average 40 points over 2 games and 12 rebounds and 12 assists. First guy to ever do it. Well, something is officially in the NBA record book now, and that is Nikola Jokic has the most assists by any center in NBA history.
Yeah. Isn't that something? That is remarkable. And consider where he is in his career.
Yeah.
You talk about a Gretzky-like difference in assists. By the time that Nikola Jokic is done, it will be a at least similar comparison in that one statistical category.
Mm-hmm.
You know, assists by a center in NBA history. I mean,
right.
You know, that who ties their shoes when they play. I mean, I get it. But it's particularly remarkable to me because that's what I think of when I think of Nikola Jokic. I think of the great pass, making players around you better, you know, assisting others to score. That's what I think of him saying, and I've heard him say this.
Yep.
You know, 2 guys are happy when you have an assist. Only 1 guy is happy when you're scoring a basket. So all of those things are pretty cool for me.
Well, I'll tell you what else is pretty cool is that the Nuggets have ripped off 6 straight wins. Okay. Still doing it without 2 starters in Gordon and Brown. When you look at yesterday's game, would it even been possible last year for the Nuggets to have missed 2 starters and the bench scores 31 points?
No. I mean,
it would have been actually 33.
Yeah.
The bench scored 33 points with 2 of those reserves in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
It's nothing short of incredible what this team is doing right now. We talk about the incredible things that the Broncos are doing. We talk about the incredible things that the Avalanche are doing. For the Nuggets, in some ways, it is hold my beer. And, oh, by the way, Cam Johnson is now heating up. He's averaged 16 points over his last 3 games.
And that's where you want him, right? I mean, he's exactly where you want him.
Yeah.
You don't want him feeling like, hey, I've got to score to help this team win. He's clearly not in that mode.
Right.
His scoring is, just kind of accessorizing for this team more than anything else. But they're cooking with oil right now, and they're doing it without 2 of their mainstays. So it's all going to boil down to finding Oklahoma City in the postseason and trying to win a best-of-7 game series. That's what it's going to boil down to what else is there for the Nuggets, really, in the West? Nothing. It's all about finding Oklahoma City at the time when you've got to be able to advance past them in a playoff. Simple.
Want to tell you about Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos. Always have great promotions, and they have another one right now. They are giving away a Ford Maverick Tremor truck or over $25,000 in cash the weekend of January 9th. Daily cash drawings are every 45 minutes between 10 a.m. and midnight. Players can earn daily entries with every locked-up jackpot or by redeeming players' points on their players' cards. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, a family-owned casino that treats you like family. Time now for the lead.
The lead is presented by Sasquatch Casino, a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Game last night, arguably one of the best, if not the best, Thursday night game we have ever seen. I say this with all due respect to the Broncos because they have the number one seed in the AFC, but I don't think there'd be many people outside of AFC teams that would complain about the Seahawks playing the Rams in a rematch in the Super Bowl because that was unbelievable. Clearly, there is an NFC championship to be had, but right now the Seahawks are in the driver's seat. And as I'm watching that game, I'm trying to imagine how would the Broncos play against either one of these teams. But all that said, we'll get into that in a minute. Let's look at what the Rams did, and they did lose the game. But did you walk away with the Rams? Forget about the outcome. Who's the better team, the Rams or the Seahawks? I know who won.
I think the Rams are a slight lead.
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure that I don't capitalize slightly better than the Seahawks. Seattle wins the game. The Rams probably win the thought of who's the team to beat in the NFC. But it's not by so much that, I mean, remember the first game between these two teams down in LA was a similar kind of game in the tightness of the game, very close game. So I would be careful to just kind of, give the keys to the kingdom to the Rams. I would say that they're the slightly better team, but I don't think it's by a whole hell of a lot. And you said something that triggers me a little, just the slightest bit. So let's start with this. I was thinking about the Broncos matching up, and how can you not, right? I mean, that's what we're in Denver. We see the Broncos every day. You do think about those types of things. And I was sitting there thinking last night as I was watching somewhere along the line, I was looking at the four favorites in the NFC: the Rams, the Seahawks, the Eagles, the Packers.
What about the 49ers?
The 49ers were like the fifth favorite because of the fact that they're in the same division, I think.
Right.
With the Rams and the Seahawks. And the thing that stuck with me was, well, hell, the Broncos have beaten two of those four teams. And the Broncos beat the Eagles on the road. Now, look, the Rams and the Seahawks, to me, are on a different level.
They are.
Than the Eagles and the Packers. And I say that to the Packers with all due respect, but now they're beat up a little bit. The Packers aren't the same team as they were a week ago coming into Denver. And maybe we see that as early as tomorrow against the Bears. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't know. I mean, it's like, are the in a comparative fashion, how far are the Broncos being away from being able to compete with either the Rams or the Seahawks?
They can compete.
Of course they can.
Okay. Now, it's funny, going into the game, we talked about both teams have excellent offenses.
Yes.
Both teams have excellent defenses.
Yes.
And the defenses got absolutely shredded.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So it's funny. We looked at the Broncos against the Packers.
Yes.
Broncos, great defense. Packers, great defense. Both of those defenses, for the most part, got shredded as well. But when I look at a matchup potentially against the Rams, I see something that is an enormous problem for them. And that is the Rams have four tight ends who can catch the ball.
One of them being our buddy Terrence Ferguson.
He had a game. He should have had two touchdowns.
You're damn right he should have. Got it. I cheer for that kid, man.
And oh, by the way, the Ferguson family was at the game.
Good for them.
Yes.
Good.
So Cody and Dawn were at the game, and what a thrill to see a local kid doing so well.
Yep.
But getting back to the Rams, they have four tight ends that can catch the ball. They line up in that 13 formation in which they run the ball extremely well. But if you are releasing two tight ends, again, the Broncos have enough trouble covering one. I think the one thing that could help the Broncos, if there was a matchup in the Super Bowl, is Sean McVay's aggressiveness could kill him on fourth down against the Broncos. because all you need are one or two stops, and suddenly you might have the ball twice in a Super Bowl at midfield.
You live and die by your aggressiveness sometimes.
Right? I am more than happy to let any team line up against this Broncos defense on 4th and 1. I don't care where it is on the field.
Right.
But the Rams might have the best 1-2 punch at running back in the league. Is that fair to say? Might have.
Yeah.
They certainly have the best collection of tight ends who can block and catch. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
When it comes to the wide receiver position, they have a guy who's the best in the league at catching touchdowns specifically in the red zone, who didn't play in Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
And who in the world is going to cover Nakua in that Broncos secondary? And, oh, by the way, the Rams also have the best quarterback in football. Yes. Other than that, it should be an easy day for any defense.
Right. Absolutely. And the Rams, to me, are the team, but they were had last night, and they can be had. Now,
I think there are a couple of reasons why.
Right.
When they went up 30-14, they started to get a little conservative.
Mm-hmm.
And while they ran the ball a lot, it just seemed they weren't attacking for like 3 series, in which those basically three series that didn't work for them happened to be in the fourth quarter. And this is something for anybody who plays the Rams moving forward should keep an eye on. Do not blitz Matthew Stafford. He will crush you. And what happened was, in the opening, 3 quarters of the game, the Seahawks blitzed him a lot and got torn up. And when they stopped blitzing him, suddenly he looked mortal.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He looked mortal, and they'd already done, to your point. Yeah, I had the feeling that the Rams, I don't want to say took their foot off the pedal.
That's how it felt, didn't it?
But,
a little bit in that fourth quarter.
It did feel that way. It felt like they felt they had done enough to take care of their business, and they had kind of moved on a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, and I don't mean to be overly simple about the whole thing.
I felt the same way, Bruce.
But I did feel that way.
Right.
So anyway, whatever.
When you're up 30-14, whether you're on the road, whether it's in Seattle, with your defense, Matthew Stafford, that offense, that should be enough.
Yeah.
But what changed the game? Special teams.
Yeah. Right.
And suddenly, that one special teams touchdown combined with a 2-point conversion, now suddenly the score, instead of being 30-14, it's a 1-score game at 30-22.
It's remarkable how special teams can do that. Like out of nowhere. There's no indication that it's coming, and then you get a big play like that on a punt return. You add the 2. It's double momentum. First of all, you get a touchdown out of the blue, and then you add the 2-point conversion. You could feel momentum swing dramatically, and because you're right, the Rams were in such clean air, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh God, they're within a score of us now. And funny, but that's how it played out.
I'll give you something else. Every time I heard the broadcast team of Michaels and Herb Street talk about Sam Darnold, I felt like they were talking about Bo Nix. Well, Sam Darnold has never really won a big game. Can he finally win a big game? He did finally win a big game. You know what this guy's record is over the last 2 seasons? For the sake of this conversation, do you know? 26-6.
Yeah.
Last 2 seasons, he is 26-6 as a starting quarterback, and there is still more season to go for him to compile more wins. Because Seattle is at the end of the day, before we move on to the Jacksonville game, do you think the Rams and the Seahawks are the top 2 teams in football?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do think they're the top 2 teams in football, but they're not on a hill that's impossible to climb.
Right.
That's it. I mean, they are the 2 best. And maybe they are the 2 we've talked all year about, we started talking about it way back early in the season, who in the AFC really intimidates you. There may not be a great team in terms of teams that we have seen in the past, teams that the championship is going to go through. Having said that, I would argue that it probably goes through LA or Seattle. So maybe I am saying that they're two great teams. I think they're two very, very good teams. I would give them two varies. I would give the Broncos one vary.
With that,
there you go.
What we saw yesterday could very well be a preview of the NFC Championship game. What we saw last Sunday, Broncos-Packers, could be a Super Bowl preview. What we're seeing this Sunday could be an AFC Championship preview against the Jaguars. So, do you look at this game on Sunday against the Jaguars as another potential statement game for the Broncos, or have they already made this statement? Because for Jacksonville, this would be a signature win, a statement game. Do you feel for the Broncos, not that they need it, but do you think this is one, or they don't need any more statement wins?
I don't think they need any more statement wins. Having said that, I do think the Packers was a statement win.
Yeah.
I think this falls more into the category of take care of your damn business.
Right.
And this is a very good team coming in with a hot quarterback, a very good defense, all of those things, and you give them the respect that they have earned. And if there's a team out there that that should be able to appreciate what the Jaguars are doing, it's the Broncos, right? I mean, the respect that the Broncos should have for what the Jaguars are doing, kind of coming out of nowhere and sustaining this really good story and winning and doing it the way that they're doing it, it should be the Broncos. I'll be surprised if they're not ready to play and play well. I think it will be difficult for Jacksonville to come in here and win the way the Broncos are winning at home right now. But no, I don't think it's necessarily a statement game in the truest form for the Broncos, unless taking care of your business is in and of itself a statement.
Now, the Broncos are a team that has played with a chip on its shoulder for a good part of this season for sure. And while they were watching last night's game on their couch, they fell, according to Fanatics Sportsbook, in terms of the odds to win the Super Bowl. So going into that game, the Rams were, I don't want to say prohibitive favorites, but they were heavy favorites to win the Super Bowl. The next team was the Seahawks. That gap has closed, and it is tight. So it's the Rams, then it's the Seahawks, very tight. According to Fanatics Sportsbook, the Broncos were behind the Bills, if you can believe it, to win the Super Bowl. And now that margin has grown a little bit, while the Broncos are sitting on their own couch. So with that, not that Sean Payton needs to do this, but he might want to show his guys that after we beat the Packers, we lost ground. The Broncos, I don't want to say they're the Rodney Dangerfield, gotta get no respect. I don't want to say they're the Rodney Dangerfield of the NFL because they have the best record in the NFL, but still, odds makers, they might need to beat Jacksonville for the odds makers to believe in them. Not that anybody in the locker room cares about that.
I think that I think at this point you're just looking to win a football game, and that's the kind of they're about ready to. Can you close? The Broncos have closed all season long. And so here we are at the end of the year with 3 games left, having to win 2 of them. Can you close? In other words, can you close in the same manner that you have closed all season long? Isn't that who the Broncos are? I'm ready to. I'm at the point where I say this is who you are. So go out and do it. Right. I mean, I think at this point you'd be more surprised if the Broncos didn't close. It's
Right.
it's what they've done all year long. So, yeah, I mean, go ahead and finish your business. But you know something? It goes back to what you and I started talking about 2 weeks ago. I like this kind of stretch of games.
So
I like the fact that they have to really play, move on, and then get a great game plan, a good week of practice. It is playoff-like football. There is no question the Packers game was a playoff atmosphere, feeling. What was at stake, both for the Packers and for the Broncos, and it feels very much a similar kind of game with Jacksonville and the Broncos this week. And I don't know what it's going to feel like going to Kansas City. We need to see how all the outcomes fall, right? I mean, a lot of things can happen with where the Broncos are and what they've clinched this weekend. But in the moment, this feels like another big game.
Coming up after the break, DJ Jones has been on a pretty good team in the past before he joined the Broncos and the 49ers. How does this Broncos team compare to those 49er teams that were special? And what does DJ think of an ascending Trevor Lawrence coming up on Sunday? You'll hear from DJ next.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. Don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corn bake. Man, you gotta try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Ferguson's Heating and Cooling is the best in Denver, and their customers agree. Ferguson's has 165 5-star Google reviews, and here's one from Betsy. Highly professional, prompt, and honest. I switched to Ferguson's when I became aware my former company was trying to sell me a whole new system I didn't need. Ferguson's is an honest, working, family-owned business that'll give you a fair price, the highest quality parts and equipment, and they always show up on time. You can trust the Ferguson family like you trust your own family. Go to fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. All their locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook, great hangout bar, great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. They are the sports bar.
Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk have another incredible promotion. They'll be giving away a Ford Maverick Tremor truck or over $25,000 in cash the weekend of January 9th. Daily cash drawings are every 45 minutes between 10 a.m. and midnight. Players can earn daily entries with every locked-up jackpot or by redeeming players' points on their players' cards. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, loose slots, great promotions, delicious food, and a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
And welcome back. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Time now for What's Trending.
What's trending on Hot Takes with Goodman and Haertl? Brought to you by Mile High Sports.
So on Sunday, Jaguars and Broncos, both teams, fair to say, having special seasons. I had a chance to catch up with DJ Jones on what makes this team special and what he thinks about Trevor Lawrence.
You've been on some good teams in the past. When you look at good teams you've been on in the past, what similarities do you see with those teams and this locker room?
Different teams. It's hard to compare teams, period. Whether good or bad. But this team is special because of this locker room, I believe. Like, when we split from here, majority of these guys are gonna. Like myself, I'll go home and see my wife and my daughter, but a lot of them will spend time together, and that's special. That's a bond that you can't get rid of.
Deion Sanders, head coach at Colorado, was asked about culture, and he said it's about winning, not necessarily about culture. As a guy who has played in the pros for a long time, I'm not asking you to agree or disagree with Deion Sanders, but how important is culture?
I agree with him because if you're losing, nobody's talking about culture. You'll say there is no culture. But the second you start winning, that's the culture questions start rolling in.
So what is culture? Just simply winning?
I think he's simplifying it for you, but culture is the bond built over time, and winning is fully a part of that. You can't take winning out of culture. I mean, it is. I mean, he's right. It is. I mean, he's right. Winning is culture.
There are special defenses historically. We can start with the team in 2015, then the Seahawks, then the Bears. When you look at this particular defense, what makes it special?
We got a fearless leader, Vance Joseph. Without him dialing it up, we can't go out there and perform. Without him making adjustments, we can't go out there and fix our mistakes. So, I mean, it starts with him.
So when you guys played in that Packers game and Jordan Love is having a half,
right on.
What changed with you guys?
We went in and listened. It was time to go in and listen. We went out there and performed, but we went inside and listened to each other and Vance.
So what was said to make everybody's ears perk up?
Lock the fuck in. Lock in.
No strategy, just lock in.
I'm not going to give you my strategy.
No. What I'm saying is, you certainly made adjustments, but was it as simple as, you know what, we need to play harder, we need to lock in? What was it? Or
everybody just do your job. Just everybody do your job. Every one man do your job. Don't try to be Superman.
When you look at Trevor Lawrence, can you compare him to anybody you faced this year? What makes him different?
Ask me after the game.
But you've watched tape on him.
Yeah, but I got to play him. I mean, if you ask me now, I mean, he's a good quarterback. He's in the system he's in right now, top 5 quarterback. So we got to come with it.
Is it fair to say that this team has a chip on its shoulder?
Yeah, that's fair.
Jacksonville has a chip on their shoulder too. Nobody pays attention to them either.
Right.
How much can a chip on a shoulder motivate a guy individually or a team?
Yeah, that's the most dangerous team with chips on their shoulders.
So who's the most dangerous?
We are.
I thought it was very interesting to hear him use the term listen. When you go in at halftime and you start rearranging pieces and what you want to do, you got to lock in and pay attention. That's what adjustments are. I mean, yes, they've got to be intelligent adjustments, but they have to be communicated clearly to and understandably to the rank and file. And they have to understand what they are trying to do in the second half. And that was really one of the big differences in the game. The fact that the Broncos locked in defensively in the second half against a team that had their way against them and really into the second half. Don't forget, the Packers scored in their first possession of the second half.
Got a gift. They got a gift on that PI call, and the next play was Josh Jacobs rambling for 40 yards. Play never should have happened.
No, should have never. And they did, but they settled in. They kept sawing wood, not to use the cliche, but it's apt. And they were able to dictate how they wanted that game to go. And then in concert, you were getting Bo Nix getting the offense going, and the whole thing came together in a second half that I think was clearly the Broncos' best second half, considering who they were playing, what was at stake, all of the things that come together in big games. So, yeah, absolutely. And DJ Jones is there's a reason he's one of the go-to guys in that locker room. He's always very candid, very honest. You always get a straight answer from him. and he's a no holds kind of guy. So good stuff.
I think we'd be remiss if we didn't address what is starting tonight and will continue through tomorrow. College football playoff. Tonight, Alabama against Oklahoma. The winner gets Indiana. Tomorrow, first game, Miami against Texas A&M. 10 a.m. I'm bringing up the times of these games for a reason. Tulane against Ole Miss. That game will be at 1:30. Then James Madison against Oregon. That's going to be at 5:30. With that, Nick Saban, not a fan of Tulane or James Madison specifically, getting automatic bids to get in, saying, would we allow the winner of the AAA Baseball League in the World Series? That's the equivalent of what we do when JMU gets into the college football playoff and Notre Dame doesn't. I mean, I don't want to start any shit here, but it is what it is. You agree with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And it's hard to argue. Now, if James Madison or Tulane can rise up and be competitive and win a game, maybe that takes a little luster off of the argument. But just for a hot take, I think Nick Saban is correct. James Madison is in this tournament, but isn't in this tournament. It will not be a factor in this tournament.
What about Tulane?
Probably a little closer, right? Probably a little closer to being in a competitive situation, but another very long shot. And to Nick Saban's point, when there are teams left out of this tournament who would have a far better chance to make waves in this tournament than two of the teams in it,
right?
I understand totally what he's saying. Now, having said that, is that really what you want? It is a 12-team tournament. It may end up going to 16. I mean, I don't know. We'll see where the numbers go. On the other side of the argument, can you say, doesn't this make the tournament more interesting? Let me ask you something. Sure.
You can explain it or I can explain it. I'll hand it off to you. What is the difference between, I don't know, the NCAA basketball tournament where you have a James Madison in the tournament and a James Madison in the football tournament?
Because one's a 68-team tournament and the other one is a 12-team tournament. So the seats on the plane are far more expensive and meaningful, right? Yeah. I mean, the college football playoff is like
but hold on. We have seen a 15 seed beat a 2 seed. Mm-hmm. We have seen more than a few times a 14 seed beat a 3 seed.
Yeah.
So the argument would be, why not James Madison? Why not Tulane? We've seen it in basketball. Why can't that happen in football?
Well, it's a 22-man game, and it's the physicality of the game, and the players playing it are significantly different. It just is.
I mean, when you look at, I don't know how it's going to look on the field, but my guess would be when Oregon's offensive line lines up against James Madison's defensive line, it's going to look like college players taking on freshmen in high school, just in terms of pure physical talent, and then flip it around Oregon's defense, against James Madison's offensive line. There's just in basketball, a huge physical difference. There isn't necessarily a huge physical difference in basketball. In football, there is.
And one guy.
By the way, there's a reason why you don't let freshmen and sophomores enter the NFL draft.
Yeah. Because
physically they're just, for the most part, not ready to face men. Yeah. In this case, not to suggest that James Madison's players or Tulane's players aren't men. They're all roughly the same age, but physically they just look different.
You got to have, when you have teams of 11 guys on the field at the same time, you got to have enough guys to get the job done in unison. on a basketball floor, you get one guy that is hot, for instance, and we see it all the time. Guys get hot. You can control a basketball game by that. I mean, you will see those kinds of upsets. It's much harder to do over the course of 60 minutes in a football game.
And here's something else to consider. In college basketball, you have a lot of guys at smaller schools that stay all 4 years.
Right.
In college basketball,
great point.
The higher schools, higher level schools, blue bloods, you have guys maybe staying 1 year.
Yeah.
You have more mature guys at the smaller schools in terms of age and physical development. There just is a difference. So I guess the big thing is, I don't know if the college football committee, what changes they're going to make. I think they will expand. But if James Madison and Tulane get their doors blown off, do you think there might be a change to these smaller schools getting 2 bids?
Yeah, I maybe.
Should there be?
Yep.
If both teams get routed, have we seen enough? In some ways, are Tulane and James Madison carrying the flag for the non-Power 4 schools heading into this tournament to say we belong? Because if they don't play well, people are going to say, what are you wasting our time for?
Yeah, I do think the latter there. I mean, if you don't play well, what's the point?
I mean, Notre Dame fans are going to be heavily watching Tulane, but specifically James Madison, and saying, we wouldn't have gotten blown out by 40.
Yeah, and they're right.
But
that's,
in the NCAA basketball tournament, a bubble team that finished, I don't know, 8th in the Big Ten and didn't get in is not going to be able to look at a non-Power 4 school and say, we wouldn't have gotten blown out. Dude, you finished 8th in your fucking conference.
Yeah. And remember, it's in college basketball in particular, you do have VCU, Wichita State, schools like that.
Butler, George Mason.
That reach
they can make
the Final
runs.
Four. And they make runs. So they're not just winning one game.
Yeah.
They're winning 5 games.
Yeah.
I mean, so you can see it happens in college basketball.
Yeah.
There's no way, with all due respect, and I mean with respect to James Madison or Tulane, they're not making a 3-game run to the national championship in this tournament. It won't happen.
Wouldn't it be an unbelievable story if they did?
Yeah.
My goodness.
I mean, it would be absolutely incredible. So it can happen for 1 game, but for 2 or 3, I don't think so.
All it does is have to happen for 1 game for the dogs to be called off.
Sure.
You just need 1 game.
You're right.
And, by the way, the College Football Playoff Committee sees exactly what everybody else sees, because look at how these games are lined up. There are 2 NFL games tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Which games in college football are going head-to-head with those NFL games? It's not Oklahoma against Alabama.
No.
It's not Miami against Texas A&M.
Right.
It is the final 2 games, Ole Miss and Tulane, going head-to-head with the opening NFL game by halftime. And then, I think that most people are expecting a blowout, Oregon against James Madison. And now that game is directly going head-to-head with the Bears and the Packers, as if to say, nothing to see here.
No.
I know James Madison is in, and no one will probably see it unless you're an Oregon fan, James Madison fan, a huge college football fan who happens to like college football more than the pros.
Yeah, well, I'll be watching the Packers and the Bears. So, I mean, with all the, right. I mean, I barely have a curiosity in that game. And there's a reason that Oregon's a 3-touchdown favorite at home.
Yeah.
And frankly, I would probably bet on them to be able to handle that. So, your point is right on target. I will say this, however, how good of viewing day is tomorrow with the 2 NFL games, the 4 college football playoff games, you can get your fill pretty much any time during the day, because I think A&M, is that the first game, A&M and
10 a.m.
Yeah,
10 a.m.
so at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So
Yeah.
you can lock in all day long. It will be a tremendous day to watch football.
Are you working tomorrow?
No.
So where are you going to be tomorrow?
Well, I'm going to play pickleball first thing in the morning because I'm that kind of geek. And then I am going to lift, and then I will be at where I stay with my people there the rest of the day, and it is a phenomenal.
Where you stay with your people? What the hell does that mean?
That means where I'm staying, how
Okay.
I'm living here right now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not living with family. I'm living with friends. And so I will be at the friend's place doing my normal Saturday things, which you're not interested in. Trust
Do they like football too?
Yes.
Oh, then you have a party.
Well, it won't be a party, but it'll be fun.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Real quick, Broncos Jaguars Sunday. What happens? Who wins? Why?
I like the Broncos in this game. I think they pull away late for a 27-17 type of win. Even with Trevor Lawrence on the heater that he's been on for the last 3 weeks, and Jacksonville with some very intriguing metrics that they bring into the game,
Yeah.
I think the Broncos are at a point right now where you can trust them. I think the trends that they've started now and that they are in the midst of, there is trust in being able to sustain them. And I think this will be that kind of offering.
That's going to do it for us. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Make it the best possible weekend you can and enjoy your football gasm.